was the open. That was in
That-
sync and everything, man.
Yeah, that's the intro, the Probate Hero intro.
That's a good one.
We nailed it.
We got to put that on a hat. Hey.
That's another shirt.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. That'll be it.
I
We'll
love
get you
it.
one. We'll get
The
you one.
merch is coming.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well,
we got a good one today. as
Yeah,
always.
episode 16, I think,
16,
right?
yeah.
Episode 16. Today
Yep.
we're going to talk about a topic that we've touched on before, but it's just good to go over it again, eliminate any kind of misconceptions that are pertaining to the probate timeline.
Mm-hmm.
How long does probate typically take?
Mm-hmm.
When can we sell the real estate? Do I got to wait until the end of probate to get paid?
Right.
That's a very common misconception. Oh, Gary, I've heard about probate. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sell a house and have to wait until probate ends to get my commission,
Yeah. Nice
which
shirt.
couldn't be further from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So typically,
Mm-hmm.
probate, from when it starts to where it finishes, it's about 7 months
Yeah, that's kind of the average, right?
if everything goes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
10 months,
A little longer.
that's
more
pretty
covered,
good.
yeah.
That's pretty good, but they can
Not
go
bad.
on. They can go on for a couple
Longer.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it just
could.
depends on the complexity of the probate. Depends
Mhm.
on if the families are just fighting each other. There's a lot of different reasons on why a probate would lag and kind of stick around for a while. But
Mhm.
typically, it's a 7 to 10 month process
Mm-hmm.
for probate.
To be completed.
Yeah, start to
Mhm.
finish.
Mm-hmm.
The end of probate is called final distribution.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of real estate, our podcast, and what we're talking about here,
Mm-hmm.
you get to sell the property typically within the first 30 days that probate started.
Yeah. Once they gotten their certified letters.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Mhm.
Now, the caveat to that is not every county moves as quickly as the other.
Right. Right. Some counties are a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. A good example is Riverside County. A petitioner files their petition for probate on
Mhm.
day one. They go on the court calendar 60 days out.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 months before they have their hearing date to be approved and receive their certified letter.
Right. And that's important for you that's working that, because now you know the timeline when you could actually get the listing agreement signed.
Right.
Can't do anything until they have those certified letters.
Well, not only that, but all of our prospecting and follow-up, it's tailored for those first 30 days.
Mhm.
As we get closer to their hearing date, the conversation starts to change a little bit more, and it becomes a lot more about plans with the property you're going to be selling,
Mhm.
talking about the differences between selling and probate than selling in general real estate. So if you are in a different county where it takes 60 or 90 days for the petitioner to have their hearing date to be approved and receive
Mhm.
those certified letters, well, you're going to have to stretch out your prospecting
Yeah.
60 or 90 days, because even if you are talking to them for a month, they're still not legally ready to sign any paperwork of yours.
Right. And that's what we talk about. You want to have your different stacks of leads and piles. This file's not can't do anything for 60 days out. This pile can't do 30 days. This one's already got their certified letters. So, right, you just keep working your systems every week. And that's what this is.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
the misconception I mentioned about having to, let's say you take a probate listing and you sell it the first week. You're not going to have to wait until the probate closes
Right.
6 months later
Right.
for you to receive your commission. You get paid at the close of escrow just like any other transaction.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the family's not going to be able to get the remaining, all the
Their inheritance.
Their inheritance.
Yeah. The proceeds from the sale will deposit into the estate's bank account.
Which they set up.
Because what happens is once the petitioner is approved as the administrator or the executor, and they receive their certified letters, that also triggers the 4-month creditor period.
Right.
And it's during that creditor period where any outstanding debts or anything like that, those come to the surface.
Right.
And out of those proceeds from the sale, those debts are going to be paid.
Right.
So if the house hasn't been sold yet, but you're in the 4-month creditor period, there's going to be debts waiting to be paid.
Right.
When the house sells, you get paid. The proceeds go into the estate bank account, pay off these debts, and then whatever's remaining in the estate bank account at the end of probate at final distribution, that's what will be distributed to the heirs.
Correct. Absolutely. And it's good that we're talking about, because you want to know these timelines. So when your estate's asking you, Oh, so when it closes, me and my siblings get the money? No, you don't. And this is how it works. You got to explain those timelines.
Yeah, you're gonna want to explain to them that once you have your first hearing date and you're approved as administrator or executor,
Mm-hmm.
and you receive your certified letters,
Right.
that's when you want to take those certified letters, a copy of the order that the judge will provide, and the death certificate with an EIN number that you
Mm-hmm.
can get from the state. Your attorney should help. The attorney should help them do that.
Mm-hmm.
Those items need to go with the newly appointed administrator or executor to the bank to set up the estate's bank account.
Correct.
If they have an attorney, the attorney is going to help them do all of that. If you're working with somebody who's pro per, you can help them do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the knowledge, you can share that knowledge with them. Another reason why you want to know these things, like Ray's talking about, is simply because you want to demonstrate your level of expertise when you're communicating with the prospect.
Right.
Lay it all out. Explain what's going to happen at the first hearing date, what's going to happen after they get approved. Explain what happens with the estate bank account, how it gets set up. Explain all these things, because chances are, if they have an attorney, the attorney explained all of this. And now you're just showing and demonstrating your value because you're explaining the same stuff that their attorney just told them.
Exactly.
That's going to create that separation for you.
right.
So understanding the probate timeline
Mm-hmm.
and speaking that language is
Mhm.
going to help secure your identity as a probate specialist without you having to call yourself a probate specialist.
Well, that's true. And remember, right, you got a lot of people calling these potential personal representatives. So they're going to work with the person that's demonstrating, number one, that they know what they're doing. Number two, the knowledge. And then when you're just speaking to them what their attorneys already advised them how it works, you've already set yourself apart because most aren't really maybe explaining all that. So when you do that, that's gonna open that door for trust and helping them and all that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So Ray couldn't have said it better. You want to be able to demonstrate your value and knowledge to help separate you from everybody else who's calling.
Right.
And that's something that I always tell a prospect when I'm speaking to them is, number one, I identify that I realize you've been receiving a lot of phone calls,
Which they have.
which they have. We already
They
know that.
are.
Hey, what are they talking to you about? Are they only talking to you about the real estate, or are they asking you about your certified letters?
Mm-hmm.
Are they talking to you about what documents are going to be required to close escrow?
Mm-hmm.
Are they talking about the disclosures that you're exempt from having to provide during the
The
sale?
EIN, setting up the bank account.
Setting up the bank account.
Mhm.
Are they talking this probate jargon to you, or are they just talking about real estate?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to find that the majority of the agents who are prospecting probate leads, they're not actual probate specialists, even if they call themselves that. They may have attended some probate training where they got some certification, but that doesn't mean they know what they're doing. It doesn't mean they've ever done a deal before.
Right.
So as long as you're talking the talk, you're going to demonstrate that level of expertise, and that's going to separate you from everybody else who's calling them.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, you said it best. I mean, that's what this is. It's just knowing the timeline and explaining step by step how it's going to go, what happens after this, and all that. And when you can demonstrate that, you've already, as I said a second ago, you've already demonstrated your value right there.
Yeah. So cover with them the whole timeline. You've already filed your petition. That was day one. Roughly 30 days later, you're going to have your first hearing. That's the appointment hearing. That's for you to be approved as the administrator or the executor. That's where you'll receive your certified letters of administration or testamentary. And then explain what those certified letters do, that they give them the legal authority to take action against the estate.
Mm-hmm.
Then explain to them that that's going to kick off the 4-month creditor period.
Mm-hmm. When
When the 4-month creditor period ends, they're going to go into their second hearing, which is inventory and appraisal. That's where the estate's going to have all their assets inventoried and monetary value associated with each item.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they're going to come to their final hearing, which is their final distribution hearing.
Right.
And that's where the judge checks over everything in the file, approves it, signs off on it. Probate now has closed, and the heirs can be distributed the proceeds of their inheritance.
Yeah, typically 7 months or so, the timeline.
If things go really smoothly, 7 to 10 months, it's going
Mhm.
to work out.
Right.
So if you're able to communicate that efficiently with the prospects, you're going to win more. You're going to win more than you lose because you're demonstrating knowledge and value, which most people are not doing.
Right, right. And the main thing is just getting out there and doing it, making the phone calls, having the conversations, and you'll start failing forward. You'll start learning, right? Oh my God, I didn't talk about this and I lost this deal, but that's fine. You're learning. It's never a loss in a sense. It's a learning experience. So the more you're doing this type of transactions, probate, you're going to start understanding, I've noticed a lot of the estates always ask me this.
Exactly.
Right? And you'll start seeing a pattern. And when you have those answers, because you've been, right, educated, you know how it works.
You've been watching the Probate Hero Collective.
You've been watching the Probate Hero Collective. You're going to stand out. You're going to stand out.
Yeah. I think that's a good note to end this on.
Oh yeah, it was just a very, informative, as we always says, we're just here to share knowledge.
We try to keep these things short for you. We don't want to have you sitting here for 45 minutes to an hour watching these podcasts. This is not Joe Rogan. All right. We just want to get in. Maybe while you're having a quick lunch, you can pop this video on your phone.
Yeah.
20 minutes or so, you learn something new or you refresh something that you've already learned, and we just keep it moving, get you back to your day working so you can be earning. You're earning while you're learning.
Is that another T-shirt?
We already said we're gonna put that on something,
we
man.
got like 5, 6 new ones.
Maybe we need to get out of real estate and just start a merch company.
That may be, but share this, subscribe. We love to see the comments. As we always say, we're here to help. If you have a deal you're working on, share it. We love to help you.
Exactly.
Yep.
But as always, I'm Gary.
I'm Ray.
It's the Probate Hero Collective. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.